I don't know if you're first there, but we'll see. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. What's going on, people? Hello, Miss Nilechi. How are you? Thank you. Your compliment always give me life. Coming from a very, very gorgeous, classy-looking lady. I appreciate that. Happy November 12th. It's almost half of the month. Like, y'all, we just started November like 2 minutes ago. But then again, like, am I the only one, or is wherever you are, whatever state you are you guys seeing that people are not even really talking about Thanksgiving? Hello, Anthony said it. Hello, Miss Mazdala. I sent you an email. Check your email. I sent you an email with your tracking information so you can track that. I'm so energetic. I try. I'm thinking I'm coming down with a cold, but listen. I'm my mother's child. We don't know how to sit still. My mom is, how old is my mom? 71. That's more. I don't know. Yeah, 71. But she is. Hello, Miss Abdena. Thank you so much for your email last week. That was very much needed. You have no idea. Hello, Epic Movements. What's going on? Oh, I'm always on vitamin. Listen. Hello, Miss Oyefesa. How are you? My sweet Illinois Sanctuary. How my babies doing? Hello, Miss Pam. Miss Pam. Miss 𝒂𝒏𝒕. 20. Larry without like Bobby Zavai. Hello, Miss Peggy. What's going? What? Who joined? Mr. Maggie joined. Miss Illinois Sanctuary. I don't know what you told him, but whatever it is, it's working. Whatever it is you told him, it's working. Because he's here. Like he's here. That's a miracle. Anyway, he joined though. He joined though. Good evening. Hi, everyone. I'm excited today. Because y'all, we ain't going to live in fear. That's what I'm excited, because we're going to overcome fear. Everyone, like, if I tell y'all that I had a hamburger steak all day today, and then my water, because it's been nonstop. No, we got to, yeah, the weather is not, but we've got to bring it all the way down. So let's talk about that this evening. Yeah, but I think I'm coming down with a cold. I've been everywhere, and then my kid is playing basketball right now. For whatever reason, Tuesdays they feel that they have to play, or Thursdays, but he is in somewhere away, an hour and a half away, whatever, playing right now. But I was watching it actually before I joined, so I didn't miss everything. So I was able to see my boy play. But anyway, hi everyone, come on in. If this is your first time of joining us, say hello. Let us know what states or country you're calling in from. This is, dare I say, the most positive space. When we talk all things immigration, zero tolerance for trolls or whoever it is that wants to come after anyone on this platform, especially being that we are a group and a community of immigrants, and just encouraging one another. So come on in, say hello when you come on. The most positive immigration space on social platforms, safest space to celebrate immigration victories and ask questions about new policies with one and only Sister Lawyer. And you already know this. There's a whole lot going on. So yes, Miss Peggy. No, we block you. There's no how, why, but shouldn't. No, it's zero tolerance. But anyway, this is Attorney Abdisola Adebola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. It doesn't matter what state you live in, we can represent you. So don't let that be a deterrent from you contacting us. This evening, we want to discuss questions, issues, whatever it is, just bring it on. So that's why you see I was very, very on time. Like, you see how I did that? Very on time. But it's all good. Hello from Isane. Is it Isane or Ishane? But anyway, so we're going to tackle questions tonight. But let me I want to clarify some things first. However, if we can help you with your immigration case, citizenship, removal of conditions, asylum, marriage-based, employment-based, what else do we do? Call us, contact us, 334-341-4475. Visit our website at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Hello, Mr. Shito. How are you? I actually thought about you today because I think I got an alert on your case. And so I was like, oh, how is he doing? But it was just something about them updating with your fingerprints or whatever. So, someone was asking me earlier, like, how do you remember, like, how do you keep up with cases? Well, listen, I can't lose my phone. My laptop, but my phone, like, I have my whole law firm on my phone. You gotta love technology when it comes to things like that. Like, it makes it a lot easier. Wherever you are, you can pull up anyone's file. That's just that's just best. But anyway, please follow us on TikTok, subscribe to YouTube channel, share, like, Instagram, Facebook at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Welcome, 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 new members to this positive community of immigrants. As we have seen in the past week, I want, as my mom would say, there are a whole lot of people that are anti-immigrants that we did not even, we knew there were many. We just didn't know how many they literally were. But now that we know, I'm a few was so alone. Still alone. I mean, so, yeah, you get a point. But so we've had so many calls. I'm telling you, my sister was like, what's going on? My sister is African American, so she's not immigrant, but she's like, what's going on since the election? I'm like, girl, can't understand. Just leave it alone. My sweet Ashanti. But one of the things I want us to address is we cannot operate in fear. Fear has no place in our lives. So whatever questions you have about these impending policies and all that, put them in the comment section. My mama's on. Hey, mama. Adeton 63. Y'all say hello to my mother. Our mommy, our grandma. So put your comment. If you're just joining us, this is how it works. We usually talk about topics, or if we have a night of questions like we have tonight, put your comments and your questions in the comment section. Please refrain from repeating your questions so that we can have an easy flow and get to as many questions as possible. If you repeat questions, I'm going to skip it. I mean, it's very simple. So please work with me on that so we can get through most of the questions tonight. We have, like I said, we've got so many calls coming in, so many people living in fear. So let's try to address those concerns that you have. If you have anyone who is saying, you know what, I've got so many questions, or I just have one question to clarify, this is the night. Text them, call them, tell them, hey, auntie black and salt and pepper, hey, what's the deal? If I bring a question on you, this is so, because if you call my office, you're going to pay. Now this is time for you to ask your free question, but disclaimer, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So this is just information for you. Do as you will. But if you want something specific to your case, you've got to schedule a paid consultation, and we do that. I can't even tell you how many times people would have consults with me and they go, you know what, this was worth way more than pay, because I'm very detailed. There, I think. But I ask questions. Like, some people think, okay, that's a whole lot of information you're trying to get, but that's the reason why you came. But this forum is usually for general information. There's only so much we can accomplish. But do that. Put that in the comment section. Once again, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please subscribe. We're building our YouTube community at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒒𝒂𝒑.com is how we can also contact us. We were glad to represent you in your immigration case. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk immigration. Oh, by the way, that let's talk immigration, I've never had anyone say before, use it before until I started doing, but a lot of people are using it now. It's like, you know what? It's not their fault. I didn't do what I was supposed to do, but that's okay. That's okay. The other things are brewing in the background. But anyway, let me address something first. I know that, one of the things that's been being said, and one of the, unless you've been living under a rock Republicans won the presidential elections. And by Republicans, I mean, Babao, whatever it is. But anyway, so because of that, and part of the platform he run on is what he intends to do when it comes to immigration. So that means that has created a lot of fear. But I've seen some, someone actually sent me an email, and that's why I wanted to address, because I really don't read the comments, because information is information. People are going to have their opinion, and that's fine. But someone's like, okay, you're creating fear, and people are like, how am I creating fear? And people besides telling people what's to come. And if you look at our content, there's nothing that is being done on our content that is not what it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you what it is, but we don't exaggerate anything, because the information is out there. But I think on one of the last videos, as far as denaturalization of citizens, I think I was very clear in that post that is part. Now, to be clear, denaturalization is not the first. Denaturalization has always been part of immigration law. That's the thing. It's in the Immigration and Nationality Act. It's not something he just came up with. The difference, however, is this: there hasn't been any administration that has focused on that as he has done in the past and plans to do it when he's sworn in. That's the difference. So it's not like it's not untrue. It is very, very true. That's his plan. The question is, is everybody going to be denaturalized? That's not what our post said. So please, and so the person that emailed us, like, did you even actually listen to what was said? And then I played it. No, I actually called, because it's actually a client. Called him and said, let's watch it together. We did. I'm like, so what did you hear? I was like, well, I didn't listen to the end, to the last. I didn't listen to everything. Exactly the point. People like to just pick information and run with it, right? And then you create a fear for other people. So when it comes to the issue of denaturalization that this guy is planning to do, it's not like, okay, you got your citizenship and then you're going to lose it. That's not how it works. This is still America. There are laws that work. That's why it is one of the greatest countries on earth. That is the truth, regardless of the issues or discrimination that there may be. So in that video, I think I was very clear where it says, given examples of how denaturalization can happen. Why is it a big deal with him? Because in his first term in office, he has the record of being the only president so far that actually was actively referring cases to the fraud unit of fraud unit USCIs to make referrals to the Department of Justice to investigate and initiate complaints against naturalized citizens. That's why it's a big deal. And before this first term, I think the highest number of cases that were referred for denaturalization in any administration was not up to 15 cases a year. In his first term of office, I think they got to 600 and something cases a year referral for denaturalization. So do you understand why it's a big deal? And if someone is telling you that a second time around is going to be quote unquote turbocharged, but it doesn't mean you got a citizen and they're taking it away. No, because, anyone is telling you that that's not what it is. It's only going to affect. So if you are a legal permanent resident, there's nothing in your record that you're concerned about, or you're a naturalized citizen, there was no fraud, there was nothing, then you have nothing to worry about. I mean, that's what the law is. That the law is there to protect you. But in cases just like the example like A, if you had there's any reason for them to believe that your green card, for instance, was fraudulently obtained prior to you becoming a citizen, that's a ground, even in the Immigration and Nationality Act itself, that allows the U.S. government to initiate denaturalization proceedings against someone. The difference is all the administration passed, unless it's something that is more about treason against the United States or something along those lines, they don't bother. Like, okay, you got your citizenship, we missed this, end of story, move on. He's trying to go back and bring up people's information. Okay, he's trying to bring up people's information and look into, did you get your green card properly? Did USCIS make a mistake of make an error where you should not, based on USCIS's error, you should not have become a naturalized citizen? That's the craziness they're going into. And that's the whole point of letting people know. It's not to make, there's no one that said everyone who is naturalized, I mean, come on, I'm a naturalized citizen. Anyway, but that's just the issue that's going on, and because no administration has actually done that before, it's ridiculous. But like someone said, I mean, as I say, charity begins at home. Hopefully he starts with the people around him, including the person that is just his next of kin. I mean, you've got to start from your own house and figure it out, because things may not have been properly done. Allegedly. But anyway, so I hope that clears that up. But let's get to as many. So if you've got any questions whatsoever, whatever it's keeping you up at night with this whole thing, because the guy has not even been sworn in, so we can't be running in the helter skelter. God spoke him and everyone that he's appointing whatever into existence, the same way God spoke them into existence. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. But whatever it is that is keeping you up at night, bring it up, put it in the comment section. Let's try to tackle it together. But at the end of it all, the most important thing we can do for each other is to cover ourselves in prayer. Let us cover ourselves in prayer. There is nothing that prayer cannot handle. There's absolutely nothing. The Bible is very clear. The heart of the king is in his hands. Kings, they're rulers of their kingdom, right? They think they've made a decision, but see what he did with Pharaoh. It's still the same God that sits upon the throne of grace. There's nothing anyone can do to change the trajectory of what God has done in your life in this foreign land. Nothing. But we should be informed and know exactly what we need to do. That's all that is about. So I hope that clears things for people. Okay. Hello, Miss Giwa. How are you? Hello, Miss Tutuola. Trini, hello from Brooklyn, New York. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Alrighty. Hello, is it possible to get rid of an old marriage I-485 held in abeyance and apply for a fresh one based on that? You can. You can ask USCIS to withdraw a previously filed I-485 and then file a new one on Vargas. But why would you want to do that? Excuse me. Okay. What is the topic of not issuing work permit for an undocumented people? What do you mean? What is the topic? Are there programs that can assist in paying for VA cases? I don't know of any program that can pay, but I know there are charity, Catholic charities that actually represent people in humanitarian cases where you pay a reduced attorney fee or no fee at all. But I don't know of any that I can actually refer you to. One thing you can do is if you just Google, immigration clinic in your state, something should be able to come out that you'll be able to get some information. What's the safest way to change your address for a VA case? If you have an attorney on your case, tell your attorney to do that. So for all my clients, I just tell my clients, complete an AR-11 form, send it to me. Once you have it signed, send it to me. I email it directly to the VA office, and 30 to 60 days, they'll send me an acknowledgement saying they have received it, and they'll update the information. Conversely, alternatively, you can actually send in the form itself with your identification, proof of who you are, and mail it to the VA office. So those are the two ways you can do it. But if you have an attorney, the best and safest way, then I would say, is to let your attorney send an email to the VA office. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's put it up here. So what are we talking to? No topic. We're just trying to tackle all the questions you have. so that you have it, you have the answers. So basically, I know you have many questions. That's what our topic is. So let's get to those many questions and go through them, because we can't live in fear. We still have 4 years ahead of us. The 4 years, am I in the hypertension could be necessary. It's not necessary. Okay, let's see. Epic movements. I need to make you come get your card all the way in Alabama. That's what I need to do. I look so tired. It's been a long day. What can I say? Well, we're here. Just came in from urgent care. Oh, really? I hope you're good. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Let's see. Is it still safe to travel with advanced parole under VA self-petition? Advanced parole is not, and a lot of people are asking, advanced parole is not attached to VA. Advanced parole is based on your green card application. So what I'm telling my clients, and I'll tell you, I can't, if you're not a client of mine, I can't tell you whether or not to travel. If you have an attorney in your case, ask your attorney if you should travel. However, what I'm telling my clients is that I want everyone to be back into the country before inauguration. It's not, I just don't know. I just would feel, it's up to the client, but I'm sending anyone who's traveling and say, hey, so then we'll travel. You don't, you might say like, okay, what is your plan? And you don't have to tell me your specific dates, but I needed to, there's a lady today that I had to make her change her dates to dates because she was coming back on the inauguration date itself. I was like, I just don't feel comfortable with that. I want you back in here and your kids before that. That is just me. So I'm not saying there's anything happening. It's just what will make me, because I'd rather you're on this side of the border before that happens, and then let's figure it out together. And then for you to be out, and then there are executive orders that go in the same day, and then we've got to be run all over the place. So that's just me and my clients. So if you have an attorney, seek your attorney's advice and see what they tell you to do. Okay. Is it 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸�00 because this girl is a mixture of Ondo and Deltas. I need to even ask my mother. Yeah, Banky. Can there isn't I think in Ondo State, no. When you know that really your kids are like from Delta State, like what was the idea? Because I don't understand. Don't understand. If you cross the border and got paroled, will you get permanent residency if you get married to a U.S. citizen? Just curious. Now, getting paroled can mean different things. So there's some form of parole that doesn't actually make you eligible for adjustment, and there's some that you're going to be paroled in as an arriving alien that makes you eligible for adjustment. So in your case, what you need to do is to show your documents to an attorney. Because that's what I would require. Then I will be able to tell you whether or not, based on the kind of parole you have, whether it makes you eligible for adjustment of status. Miss Megan says, new members, welcome home, a place you learn and use if you have to. And the Almighty God help us all. Amen. Amen. And where we're not afraid to share our faith as well. Whether you're a Christian or Muslim, whatever it is, as long as you believe in God, that's what matters. Even within the Black community. It is, yeah, it is. Let's see. Yeah, Bank, everybody. Even some green card holders are saying illegals aren't being fair to us who worked hard to get illegal Well, admit that I still see myself in those special way better than those. The truth of the matter is, I actually had. I'll just leave that alone. Just what Mr. Maju was saying, that someone actually said that today, and I was just thinking that, because I did that in their case, and I was just thinking, oh Marantio, how easily people forget. But in my head, I was thinking, this is not what you were the song you were singing 3 years ago. But hey, yeah. You'd be surprised there always be your own people. That's what I thought means in a sanctuary, but someone beat me to it. All my phrases right. Our own Nigerians want their comrades to be sent home so they'll all suffer together. Listen, let's just leave that alone. Okay, we are so fast at coming jumping into conclusions. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's amazing where people make the people who make conclusions are the ones who don't even. I mean, you can read. If you read, you will know that. But keep in mind also, there's some people who live for propagandas. They just live for the drama. If there's no drama, the life is not. They've got to have something that makes, and then you create a lot of fear, hysteria for a lot of people. And keep in mind, we have so many people who are also immigrants who are not necessarily well read, and some people, especially older people, who I have got quite a number of older clients that will tell me, hey, sure affect me, because they don't understand, and I have to take time to explain to them. And not because they're stupid, but because they're just, they're from different, they're old school or whatever the case may be. But then if you go out and you create, chaos for everybody, and then it's rather unfair. But okay, let's see. Somebody saying she start with his. Right, yeah, you wrote it. I ain't saying it. Do you think a birthright citizenship can be removed only by executive order, or it will need to go through Congress and Senate? Great question. There is no executive order that can change birthright citizenship. Let me say that again. There is absolutely zero executive order that can change birthright citizenship that is in the Constitution. It is a constitutionally protected right. In order for the Constitution to be amended, don't quote me on it, but I believe that 2/3 of the Congress has to pass the amendment, and then it's got to be ratified by the states. Doing an amendment is not something that a president can do by executive order. No, because there is law as far as what the requirement is to make amendments to the Constitution. So he cannot, very, very clearly, cannot change birthright citizenship unless it goes through that process of amending what the Constitution says. So there's so many stuff that's been said. A whole lot cannot happen because it has, unless he makes himself, unless this country becomes anything other than a democratic government, that's the only reason how things like that would happen. If it stays a democratic government, it's just impossible. So I hope that puts your mind at ease. So nothing's going to change that until that process actually happens. Hello, Finance Jenny. How are you? Hello, Alan Girl. How have you been? Last is not the only light. Yeah. We keep praying and having problems. Yeah. Amen. So shall it be. Oh, the work is just getting started. See, everything more like challenge go by. Yeah, you have to be more. What is the advantage, disadvantage of a lawyer going with you to an I-45 interview? It depends on your case. It depends on, especially if you've had a prior case. If you've got a, you know, pretty straightforward case is relative and subjective. But if you got a pretty straightforward case, you don't have anything you filed before, nothing has been denied, there's no fraud investigation, you got great bona fide evidence, or if it's an employment route, you've got no unauthorized work in the past, no criminal record, those kind of cases, a lot of people go to the interviews themselves. If you have quite a bit of a lengthy immigration past, you're going to do yourself a huge favor by getting a lawyer to go with you. So it's very, very case specific, case subjective. Who is he that speaks and it comes to pass when the Lord has not spoken? As long as God is at the center of this love. Amen. He is. Any choice. All the glory belongs to him. Listen, I've done this for almost 10 years, almost practicing 10 years. When I get in my office every single day, no exception. Before I do anything, before I take in the case, before I check my messages, it's me and God. I get on my knees, and I have to have a conversation with my Creator, because that's where my power comes, quote unquote, power comes from. I can't do anything without talking and checking in with him first of all, because that's how it works, and as long as he remains God, spoke this word into existence, that's all that matters. Exactly. Fashman 84. That's so basically, if you read what Fashman says, goes through deliberation. Deliberation is basically someone has to raise, he has to, it's a recommendation. Then one of the congressman or woman has to introduce that bill, and then they have to, they deliberate on it. They have to vote, and then once it's voted, it's got to be ratified. It's quite a lengthy process. If you look at it, when was the last time there was any change to the Constitution? Right? So let alone birthright citizenship. Yeah. So that's why we're doing this, so you don't have sleepless nights. Do you think people who just filed for PIP might be at risk for deportation? That is one of our main concerns, and I'm not saying this for anyone to be afraid. One of the things that I've in the last week, I've had two cases where we actually had the intention. I've actually screened them before for VAR cases, but they didn't want to go that route because of the PIP. So now that the PIP is not working, they've been able to do this. So I've been able to refer them, because since I got involved with them and the spouses, I could not take on those cases. I had to refer them out. So if you fall in that situation, then that may be an option. If not, then it's if you have an I-130 that's been approved, you want to start on your I-601A. And the reason is because the government has the information of all those who applied for the PIP. That's a group of people, a list of people that they know did not come into the country legally. And that is information that is in the possession of the U.S. government. And is it concerning? Yes, it is, because it's almost like having a classified file of those that you can start with. Hopefully not, but it doesn't mean that. But that's, truth be told, they have information of that list of people, knowing that they entered the country without inspection. So it's yet to be seen what happens with that. Okay, let's see. I'll get to TikTok, just bear with me. If USCI is approved an I-130 after interview, but once RFIE before I-485 approval, does it make sense? And how long does the approval take after they confirm they receive? I can tell you how long the approval is going to take, and it makes perfect sense, because your 485 is not automatically approved just because you had an I-130 approved. You can actually have an I-130 approved and an I-485 denied. I-485 is based on admissibility. I-130 is based on good faith. So the fact that you've shown good faith doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be automatically admissible as a permanent resident. Well, I asked my mom, I was like, why did we claim Ondo State as a state of origin rather than Delta? She goes, to ask my Baba. Unfortunately, my Baba is 6 feet under. Sure, you can see my mom. That's my father. Somebody responds, say, why not more? You no respect. But anyway, I will leave it alone. Yeah, Banky. All on my number lane. Because the thing is, my paternal grandfather was a 100% Yoruba man. So doesn't it make sense that I'm supposed to be from Delta State? But somehow they changed the last name and made it Samuel, and then it's away from Ondo State. But anyway, got us off one and then gave us Delta names. For what? Grandma said, ask your Baba, I can't stop laughing. Miss Peggy said, I don't know people, but where? Welcome to my world. So y'all can see where I get all my craziness from. That's my ask your Baba. I should check him out on Massachusetts. Baba Sam, when you are very low on you. Anyway, I'll leave you. If your sister files for you in the US, does that make you eligible for EAD? No. Okay. Yeah, man, keep on key. I have no words, no comment. With the recent statement about investigating naturalized citizens, which I am one, and I'm one as well, and in a real marriage, but I will be outside the country at the time of Trump inauguration, do I need to be worried? I don't think so. If your naturalization was not acquired through fraud, there was no error. One of the things that someone was talking about, and because some of my colleagues and I got together, we're just trying to come up with a list of things to give, clients and like flyers or whatever the case may be, without making people scared. Was they may not, because especially during the Biden administration, believe it or not, the issue of Nigerian divorce decree has been a big deal, right? And so they're thinking like, okay, they may not use this opportunity to now say, okay, those who have become naturalized citizens, looking near file and see if there's a reason to question the divorce decree all over again. But I want you to understand something though. There are two types of denaturalization process. There's the criminal and then there's the civil. Criminal has a statute of limitation of 10 years, I believe. Civil part of it doesn't have any statute of limitation. And unfortunately, that's one that is really more about misrepresentation, fraudulent documents, an error on the part of the service. So, but no administration has just bothered to do that. Because why? Why are you taking citizenship? You've given it to people. So what's going on? And it's always paid them anyway but keep in mind that the one thing this guy doesn't understand is, in order for you to even have people to vote during the election, they have to be citizens, right? So there are a lot of things that even his own party people are not going to let him do. If you're going to denaturalize people, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, you are also making it, you're reducing the number of people that can vote for, he probably doesn't care because he can't run for office again. But those who are in the Senate to know that they will care because they know it's going to impact them one way or the other. So this is a whole lot of crazy going on, but don't fear. So, but as long as that's not anything that you've done, nothing to be worried about then. Let's see. I don't want to miss anyone's questions so we can get, because I want you all to sleep well tonight. I'm hoping I think I jumped. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Okay, I'm back here. Do you know if Trump would deport people that came through the southern border but have filed for asylum? I don't know. I can't. How asylum is going to play out, all of this really is just, we're just going to have to wait to see. Some questions make me want to worship God the more. Don't be afraid. See, you have to understand that the enemy, the devil, works with fear. God works with faith. God's currency is faith. The enemy's currency is fear. You cannot operate with both currencies. You got to choose one. You're either using faith or you're using fear. They can't go hand in hand. And so whatever way that I can help to ease that, please let me know. So currently, can the 2/3 of the Congress possibly accept Trump's proposal? I don't think so, because that means they have to get some Democrats on their side. After to work on democracy, one lay one lati lay. I don't think. We'll see how that's going to be possible. But I also do not believe that all the Republicans say we cannot look policy. No, I think there's some like no, we're not going to mess this country up. So yeah, I did my first marriage interview in 2021, 2nd November 2022, which is 2 years this year. I have not heard anything from the USCIS. What can I do? U.S. Make inquiries, congressional assistance request, ombudsman assistance request. If all of that fails, then sue them. I'm relieved. I'm glad. That's the whole point of this evening. Whatever way I can help you to be relieved a bit, that is the point. That's why we're here. So whoever needs to come in, bring them in. Let's talk. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm tired now. Work, school, husband, and a kid, plus a house to take care of. But God is your strength, Island Gal. God is your strength. I'm telling you. Yesterday, I don't think I ate anything until about 10:30 p.m. It was a long day, and then TJ had a basketball game yesterday, and was back, and he forgot his not, but I washed his shoes, and he says you got to bring it. It was a whole lot. And so he had another game today, and his dad was like, you know what, I'll get him after the game. So sometimes just the other parent chipping in really makes a big deal. So co-parenting can be a blessing. So I'm grateful. So I get it, Island Girl. That's America for you. And then you're in school. Thank you for joining. Will there be a lengthy approval time now? Possibility of downtime in case processing for the permanent green card from temporary green card. Now, don't run with this information because I was contemplating should I or should I not. Don't run with this. But there's going to be a possibility for VAR cases that are going to be filed. This is still a possibility. Don't run. Because let me say it again. Possibility. That sometime starting in December, there may be a possibility of having interviews for VAWA cases. We're not in Trump era yet. December, which is next month. We still they're throwing around with, because they said it's being abused. The process itself is being abused. So there's a possibility of having interviews for VAWA cases when it is filed concurrently with I-485. When it's filed concurrently at the time of filing. I'm not sure how that's going to work for them before January, but they're looking to bring people in, interview them. If they then decide if it makes a prima facie case before they now send the VAR part of it to the Vermont Service Center or Nebraska, and then the I-485 to the field office. Do not quote me on that. This is just something that is a possibility starting in December, just so you know. So, and I said that to say this, I'm not sure why they're going to start something crazy like that when we're already having to deal with something that's incoming. But I say that to say this, we're also expecting that there will be interviews for every case, rather than where you have a strong case and interview is waived. It looks like there will be interview for every single case, no matter how strong your evidence is. So that may create a much longer processing time. Is it possible to deport 1 million people? Think about it. In order for him to deport 1 million people, I forget what the calculation was, but the 11 million people he's thinking about, it's going to take almost $90 billion to effect the deportation. So I don't know what Congress is going to pass a bill and approve that amount of money for that, but we'll see. Okay, let's see. If someone overstays their visit for a year and visa got expired during the stay, does that make the person an illegal immigrant? I don't like the word illegal, but it makes you undocumented. Yes. Okay. I can't afford to have high blood pressure on vacation during this inauguration. I've never committed a crime. A USA has never questioned any of the supporting documents before. I'm relaxed now. Yes. So, as Oyedele, and that's why if you have nothing in your record, there's no issue and all that. Look in your file, nothing to worry about. Then please go, rest your mind. And even those that they may denaturalize, like I was saying, the civil is criminal. When they have to actually start an investigation, when they decide they have, and they must have credible evidence to be able to start a complaint, because most of these complaints may actually be shut down in court. They literally have to file a complaint against each. It can be a class action. Each person's case has to be brought before the court. Do you know how much resources they have to dedicate to that? I mean, if we're talking of past administrations where it's never been up to 15 people per year, come on, and you have got someone who wants to just do a mass. I mean, it's not. I don't see how the U.S. Congress is going to approve funds for that craziness. But let's just wait and see. So they have to initiate that complaint in court, in federal court. You would have a chance to defend yourself in court. The fact that someone in the government is bringing a case, filing a complaint against you, doesn't mean you don't get to defend yourself. You will defend yourself, and if you have a defense against their complaint, end of story. That's it. So, and imagine if they want to do that, how many times over? People can have plans. You know, they're having a whole lot of talk now. The question is it going to be feasible for them to implement all they're claiming they want to do? We'll just wait to see. Exactly. It's almost like shutting down their economy. So what happens to those in pending asylum cases for 8 years? I don't know. But the thing is, if you remember that he's the one who introduced the last in, first out, meaning if you file your asylum case recently, they have to schedule for an interview, because he wanted to prevent people from being able to stay on asylum and getting the work authorization. He was also the one that decided that you had to wait for your asylum case to be 365 days before you could file for work authorization. Biden came in and changed that to 150 days. So my point on that is, if you already reached that 150 days, for asylum applications, asylum EADs, please make sure you go in and put in your application as soon as possible, because we don't know if that's going to revert back to what he did. Also, if you are close to renewing your work authorization, please put that in, because now we're having the benefit of a 5-year work authorization. That could go back to either 1 or 2 years. So just know that you need to file whatever you're eligible for. Based on their project 2025, that doesn't seem to be something they want to get rid of. I mean, I didn't read it in there. People that already filed the case is still pending. Is it considered as undocumented immigrants? You don't have any document, but you have a pending case. So usually if you have a pending case, and I tell people that the fact that you have a pending case doesn't preclude the U.S. government from still putting you in removal proceedings. It does not. If you do something that makes them, that warrants them to put you, just the same way that if a green card holder commits a deportable offense, the fact that you have a green card doesn't stop them from putting you in removal proceedings. So the fact that you have a pending case with USCIS does not preclude referral to immigration court. Most of the time, they just do not, because you have a pending case. And that's why you're able to travel when you have advanced parole and all that. So I don't see that becoming an issue with those who have pending cases. Okay, let's go to TikTok. Thank you, Big Daddy. Well, he said beautiful hair. So never mind. Let's just move on. That didn't come out right. Well. Hello from Chicago. Hey, Nathan from Chicago. Hey, Shamharushi. Hope I didn't murder your name. From Virginia. Thank you for joining. Will it be safe? Disclaimer, general information. Will it be safe to travel with AP with Trump no criminal record, legal entry, but overstay I-360 pending? Once again, I don't ever give travel advice to non-clients. So if you have a lawyer, please consult with your lawyer on that one. Hello from Yak from Dallas, Texas. Hello. Watching from Arizona, Macy Vet. Thank you for joining. I have been denied time. I have been denied time. Can I do right? Okay. Demi, I don't understand the question. If you have a pending VA case and you have an advanced parole, do you think anything about being safe to travel? If you're my client, you can email me. If you're not a client, I cannot give you advice on being safe to travel. I can't. Generally, there's no issue with advanced parole that is valid. The fact that you can travel, however, does not mean CBP. I mean, CBP can question people. I have a client who was just they just hired my firm last week because they have a pending I-751, and I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm just giving an example. Pending I-751, something in their phone, because the thing is, CBP has the right to check you to search through your phone. You don't have a right to come into the country. Your right doesn't start from because they can deny you access into their country. When you're here, you can talk about constitutional right, but in order for you to get in, they can search you for based on national security. So pending 751, something came on, they started questioning, check and look through his phone, look through his luggage, yada yada yada, and they came up with their own allegations. Law shot, they issued him a notice of immigration court, even with a pending 751. So just to give you an idea that it's not, there's nothing, foolproof kind of thing. What state are you? This is Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. Like the portrait. Yeah, that's African Queen. African Queen. Hello, Mr. Luwatoi. Happy to see you as well. AB's makeover. Thank you. If granted withholding or removal, is there a path towards legal residency status? I think with withholding and removal, you cannot adjust status. You've got to get off of that in order to become eligible to adjust your status. I found about in 2023. Am I safe when the new? So once again, please do not be afraid. Please do not be afraid. Hold on one second. Do not be afraid. So we're all safe, gut willing. We're just trying to be proactive. I need to know if I can travel. Okay. Is Trump really serious about deportation? Funny thing is, President Obama has the highest record of deportation. A lot of people may not know that, but that's the truth. The highest number of people were deported during the Obama administration. Not ridiculously, not just mass, but he had the highest number of deportation. So Nepali on F1 visa, 23 years old. Parents have green card. How long will it take to get from my parents? I can answer that question. Priority date is something. If you look at the priority dates when your case was filed, that would also help you to determine how long it's going to take. Faith over fear at all times. That's it. You can double dip. You cannot work with both currencies. No, you can. You can. Anyway, let me say something as well. Let's leave it alone. Yeah, so you got to choose your currency. Is it faith? Is it fear? Okay. I'm building a dungeon and hiding for 4 years. Kulit it's not. I don't mean to lie. Kulit though, but no, it's not that serious. I found asylum and got a resident card. Can they be deported for traveling back? It's not about the administration. If you got your green card through asylum and you're not a citizen, you've got no business traveling back to your home country. Is work permit considered undocumented? A work permit is not a status. You having a work permit doesn't make you documented or undocumented. It's just giving you authorization to work. The question is, do you have something where it actually like not stop them, but they won't bother putting you in remote proceedings like you've got a pending adjustment status case? Then for the most part, if you do, for the most part, they won't bother you. Do you think they will revoke permanent residency if it's based on marriage and they overturn gay marriage? They can't overturn gay marriage. I mean, anyway, I'll move on. Hello, Miss Jessica Akombi. How are you? If you know this lady, I'm not even kidding you. Miss Jessica Akombi is Caucasian. I said that because her Yoruba skills is better than mine. Her Yoruba speaking skill puts me to shame. I'm like, auntie, I'm not even kidding. Absolutely gorgeous. I think she's a Nigerian in a white woman's body. That's just me. But how are you doing? How's your husband? Okay, let's see. Can they deport green card holders? I want to say it again. Do not fear. There's not if you haven't done anything that's going to make you deportable, please understand this doesn't apply to you. If you have nothing, you have no fraud, no misrepresentation that can be reopened, and then even with those who have green cards, if you've got a green card and that green card was issued to you over 5 years ago, unless you do something that makes you deportable as a green card holder, like an offense, deportable offense like trafficking in cocaine or something, they can't take that green card from, because the statutory period to rescind a green card is 5 years. So let's just put things in perspective so that we're not just running with information without actually thinking through it. I-130 approved. I'll apply for I-45, then they sent my medical, RIP, and 2 months, still no decision. It's probably still within normal processing time. Okay. So the question of can you get deported after valid green card? I mean, unless you do something that is a deportable offense. Yeah. Now, if your green card is still within the 5 year period, and there's a reason for them to send you a notice to rescind, then they can. Did you guys lose me on Instagram because something came and I had to turn it off? But if not, Do you do K1 visas? Yes, quite a bit of it. Actually, we sent two out today. One last week, two out this week. I don't know why we have an uptick in that. Had an I-94 for over 5 years. My parents became citizens while I was under 18. Do I qualify automatically? You must have been a legal permanent resident first in order to automatically acquire citizenship from your parents. I submitted I-140 for EB1A about 2 weeks ago. Am I safe? And the petition doesn't do anything for you. If you submitted an application for green card along with it, then I'm not saying, but as long as you did it before you were out of status, you have a pending case. Usually, generally, you're allowed, you kind of authorized to stay in the country until they make a decision in your case. Okay. I have a removal order on asylum and I have a VA approval. BI is not. Okay, so they didn't approve your appeal. You say if you've got a VA approval, and especially if you have a removal order, we've got a VA approval. What you need to do is make sure you have your deferred action. If your deferred action is expired, go ahead and reapply to USCIS to extend the deferred action. Deferred action actually prevents you from being, even though you have a removal order, it prevents them from executing that order. And if you're not in deportation proceeding and you have a VA approval, but for whatever reason your 485 wasn't approved, it also prevents you from being placed in deportation proceeding. That's why it's called deferred action. Okay, so we are out of time, people, and we have so many questions. And I wish we, know Lydia is on my assistant to get questions, but I'm so sorry because I have court in the morning, y'all. I'm tired. I have court and have criminal cases in the morning. I've got 32 questions on Facebook and TikTok on YouTube. We're going to continue on Thursday. So we know what I'll start with TikTok and Facebook on. So if I didn't get to your question tonight, please bear with me. Moshako, even though it's on for me, but I know this is important to everybody. So bear with me. Remember the question that I did not answer and just put it back on Thursday, which is 2 days from now. So just bear with me. But I got to go get some break because I have 9 o'clock court tomorrow morning. So I can only do so much. But before we leave, there's nothing that's going to stop the hand of God in your life. I don't care who takes office or who doesn't take office. I don't care who gets appointed. There's none of this array of people that were not spoken into existence. There's no one who didn't come from dust. Each and every one of us, God made us. And if there's no one that is going to make life miserable for his own chosen people, that he's not going to be looking. I mean, look at the people, the children of Israel. He parted the Red Sea. And the same Red Sea that was their saving grace was the same sea that killed their enemies. I'm not saying anybody's, I'm just giving you what has happened in history that we know. My point being, in Lara, that's going to make life miserable and to prevent us from getting to the ordained destination. He's going to take it. I'm not saying to kill anybody, but take it out. It's very simple. There's no iota of his word is going to pass by without being accomplished. His word does not return to him void. If God has spoken it, so shall it be. And so if your destiny has brought you here to this foreign land, and that is going to be because God's name alone shall be glorified. God's name alone shall be glorified in all that we do. So if fear tries to creep in, remind fear that faith is in control. I'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll do the rest of the questions. Have a good night.